Hi, everybody. Welcome to the demo, the show where companies come in and show us their latest products and services. Today, I'm joined by Edwin Moreno. He is the Global Field CTO at Mimecast. Welcome to the show, Edwin.
Thank you for having me.
So what are you showing us today here?
So today, I'll be going through our Mimecast Cloud Integrated platform. So this is actually one of our newer solutions that we've released. We've really transitioned from our traditional cloud gateway offering to this gateway solution. We're very excited to show you.
And who within a company is this really designed for? Is it the IT? Is it the email security folks?
Yeah.
Big enterprises, small businesses, everybody?
So this solution is really meant to be an additional layer of security for anyone that's using Microsoft. So a lot of the people that are using this, whether it's the email security teams, is infrastructure security, but it's really those individuals that are looking for that extra layer of protection that maybe Microsoft's not giving them natively.
Yeah, and what problems are you solving with this that might not have been solved before, or what have companies done previous to this where they really need this product?
Yeah, so what we really see is there's a lot of companies out there that are using native offerings. Microsoft does have some of these capabilities out of the box, but typically what they'll come to us because there's threats that they were expecting should be stopped that are just getting through.
Right.
And so this is where I think us as a security tailored organization, we're looking for phishing emails, we're looking for business email compromise, we're looking for malware, where Microsoft as a platform, fantastic.
Yeah.
But we're going to help them when it comes to those extra security controls.
Were a lot of companies using appliances and on-premise software or on-premise hardware to do a lot of these email security things? And so why is cloud better than maybe some of these on-premise systems?
Traditionally, organizations that did want extra security, they were going with secure email gateway, so SEGs, right? Whether that was on-premise or even cloud offerings there. Really what we see though is a lot of people don't want to actually make the transition of an MX redirect, which is what a SEG requires. So really what they want to do is get full capabilities out of Microsoft, whether you're using E3 or E5, keep that stuff enabled, but then just add Mimecast as an additional layer there.
All right, so stick around until the end of the show because we've got a cool surprise for you. But Edwin, let's just jump right into the demo.
Fantastic. So what you're seeing here is our cloud integrated console, right? The goal here, though, is because who's using this, as you asked previously? They're typically security organizations, sophisticated, but maybe they don't have all the resources or the people to spend on a full-blown solution, right? So they're looking for a simple setup, cloud integrated, because it doesn't require an MX redirect, typically is deployed within 5 minutes. And then we also have the ability of doing things like historical scans. So what you see here is all the detections that we've seen in this environment. As an administrator, I want to be able to log in, simple dashboard. Is there anything for me to do?
Yeah.
Right? You have a good idea of being able to see trends. Are you seeing more or less threats over time? But let's start to get into some of the good stuff.
Yeah.
Where are these attacks actually coming from? Because you might want to get to a point where you have geographical restriction controls. If you're not actually doing legitimate business with China, for example, why are you even allowing those IPs?
Right.
And then let's actually look at the other graph, which is admin login by origin. Imagine if we don't have any administrators that I know that are actually out of South Africa.
Right.
And I start to see 3 logins there. Is someone compromised?
That's definitely raising a red flag.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. So I want the easy ability of being able to log in, first screen, and be able to see this. But let's continue showing you more. Right? We know that users are inherently risky. But do you have an idea in terms of who's being most targeted? A lot of organizations don't, right? So here we're going to show you your top 5 targeted recipients, whether they're receiving malware, phishing, untrustworthy emails. And then if you want to even go deeper into this, you can always click on that user and see all the emails that person received, right?
Now, is that just received or clicked on? Or both?
There's different categories, as you can see.
Yeah.
So malware is typically inbound. Phishing is something that they've usually clicked on or they've received.
Yeah.
Let's actually, if you want, let me go into an example here.
Okay.
So down below, you'll see all the recent detections. One of the biggest areas, though, where I know Mimecast is going to be bringing in that extra layer that Microsoft just isn't doing, it's around business email compromise. So this is really leveraging large language models where you start to comprehend how people communicate, who sends you emails, who typically do you respond back to. And then if all of a sudden they're starting to ask for wire transfers or direct deposit information, you might want to challenge that a little bit, right?
Right.
So as an administrator, the goal here is show you all relevant information immediately. This thing has been analyzed as a phishing attack. So its current status is quarantine, so we know this wasn't delivered, right? You know the policy that's triggering it. But as a security professional, I want to be able to look into this message and see what about this email is actually classified as potentially phishing, right? So if I look at this email, a couple things. Already in the subject line, there's some urgency component here. So I already know that whatever this person's emailing me about, they want me to do something immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, I should probably be a little wary of that.
Right.
Also look in the subject line. There's already a direct deposit update. So they're asking for me to change payroll, right? Let's keep going. Mark Zandvedelhoff, who's our CEO, why is he emailing me from a personal email address?
Ooh, okay.
And why is this the first time that I've ever received an email from the CEO? That just doesn't make sense.
That should raise all these other red flags for the user, right?
Yeah, but let's go even deeper into the body here.
Yeah.
What about this, though? What's critical is the way that our technology works. So we're leveraging both social graphing capabilities, which tracks this stuff above. Who do you send emails to? Do they reply back? Does it come in personal email address? But then NLP, natural language processing, then takes it further, right? So now here in this email, they're changing banks, it's direct deposit, and there's a urgency like, hey, update this thing before the next payroll period.
And so this email would have been spoofing your CEO.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And you were telling me before the show that, because I was asking you about how many, how important is email? Are hackers still going in through email? Because we hear about voice AI and text message attacks and things like that, but email is still a really big problem for a lot of companies,
It's
right?
insane that the stats still out there is about 91% of threats still initiate via email. I think it's because it's pretty easy, to set up random email servers out there and just start emailing people en masse.
Yeah.
And it's typically the first form of an attack. And if I can compromise you, I can get your credentials, for example, I can now probably pivot on that attack. So what's also interesting about cloud integration is not only are we focused on email, we're also focused on collaboration channels.
Okay.
Because if I was able to compromise you, what if I went through Teams? And what if I actually started to send malicious URLs or malicious attachments to other individuals? I'm probably going to click on it if I think it's you.
Right, and if you could get in and spoof me, then all of a sudden I'm now asking and I'm dropping in links that everyone thinks it's me, and then it turns out it's not me.
Yeah, so it's interesting. In a lot of conversations that I'm having with customers, email is typically the first thing that comes to mind, but they always say, ever since COVID. Ever since COVID, people have been either more of a remote workforce, they're not having to be tied to email. So do you offer protection layers across our other communications? Because now I'm worried about that.
Right. And you've got some other things too. There's some awareness. I think you bring up some of the other things you have other than just the scanning part, right?
Because I think the whole key thing here is you can have the best technology in the world, be proactive, but you're going to have those risky humans, right? So what are you doing to focus on that human element? So we have a solution here, which is our awareness training tool, where we're going to capture all those risk indicators. Are they failing for phishing simulations? Are they actually clicking on real life phishing attacks? Are they watching those videos that we're mandating, right?
Right.
But let's actually take this thought and move it forward. We should actually train people based off their risk, not treat everyone the same. So we're going to be releasing very shortly adaptive training based off of that as well.
All right, and you've shown me a lot of stuff here. I'm sure you've got a ton of other features. So where can people go for more details and more information?
How did I know you were going to ask that?
Yeah. Wow.
So if people go to mimecast.com /free-trial.
Oh, yeah, this is the special offer we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so you'll land on this page. So what we're offering right now is a free threat scan. So for organizations that want low impact, zero impact to their environment, but they just want to know, hey, are there threats that I should know about, especially dormant threats? Not only is Mimecast going to offer you that historical scan, we'll actually go ahead and clean up those messages there for you. And if you want to continue protecting day zero moving forward, have at it.
All right, we've also got that link down in our show notes. So Edwin Moreno from Mimecast, thanks again. Thanks for the demo.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's all the time we have for today's episode. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, add any thoughts you have below. Join us every week for new episodes of Demo. I'm Keith Shaw. Thanks for watching.